puts the foot closer to the rock than any other shoe out there. And when it is released, it will be the lightest weight climbing shoe on the market. So super sensitive, super light. It almost feels like it's not there, like your foot is basically painted in sticky rubber. This is the Sportiva Mantra. So this is actually not a new shoe for us, even though it's a new version of an old shoe. We actually released the Mantra back in the 90s, and it was one of the softest, thinnest, most sensitive shoes that Sportiva has ever put out. We've integrated a whole new front sole on it, similar technology to the Theory, without the edge on the front. So this has the same D-Tech style sole, but it's all no edge. So you're not gonna find an edge anywhere on the front of the shoe. It's all extremely thin. It tapers from 2 millimeters all the way back to 1 millimeter in the back of the shoe. So you get a lot of sensitivity, a lot of pedidexterity, so you can really grab with your feet. The shoe is going to rely completely on the foot muscles and skeletal structure of the foot for support. So it's going to give you a lot of control, but it's also going to be not ideal for vertical or slab climbing. You're going to want this shoe primarily for steep climbing. It's going to be a great gym shoe, good bouldering shoe, and a good training shoe. So extremely soft, extremely light, really fun to climb in. The rubber wraps the entire front of the shoe, so you can use pretty much the entire front surface of the shoe. Also a really nice, soft, sensitive heel as well. This is the Excess Grip 2 rubber. This is our softest, stickiest rubber compound. This shoe, I think, is going to fit a lot of people really well. The nature of the slipper is that it's really, really stretchy and elastic, so you can downsize it and get a really aggressive, tight fit out of it, and I think it's going to fit people with high volume feet, low volume feet. It really depends on what kind of foot's going in there and how much pressure your foot is exerting on the shoe, but since it's an unlined leather shoe, it's going to stretch a lot. It's not a super aggressive last. It doesn't have a really high level of asymmetry, so I think it's going to work really well for a lot of people. This, I think, is a really, really awesome training shoe. For really, really steep climbing, like anything in a cave, this is going to give you the most sensitivity and the most feedback. Really great for like bicycling, heel hooking, toe hooking, a lot of fancy footwork that doesn't require you to put your body weight on it, but more you're actually working with your feet and your toes and your legs to pull and grab. So anything that requires a lot of funky footwork, deep water soloing, I think this is going to be an incredible shoe for like climbing in Mallorca. I think if you size it bigger, to where your toes are more flat, then it would be a really comfortable, really fun crack shoe. For creek climbing or any other just strict crack climbing, probably a lot of fun in Joshua Tree as well. But more than anything else, because of the super soft nature of the shoe and all the rubber, I think this is going to be like a gym training shoe. So it's really affordable. The no edge covers up that front rand of the toe, so the shoes last a lot longer because that high wear area is completely covered by the sole of the shoe. So I think no-edge soles tend to last 2 to 3 months longer than a traditional sole before you need a resole. So yeah, that's where I really see it excelling, is just being a training shoe, making your feet really strong and kind of improving your footwork in the gym so that you can go outside and wear a shoe that's maybe a little bit stiffer, and it's going to feel like you have superpowers when you wear that stiffer, stronger shoe that has more tension. The Mantra will be released in spring, summer 2022, and it will be 165. I think you're gonna have to downsize probably more with this shoe than you would normally with any other shoe. Like maybe if, let's say you traditionally wear maybe a 41, 41 and a half in a solution. In this, you'd probably wanna be 40 and a half, 40. And it's gonna feel super tight initially, and it should be a struggle to get it on. But once your foot kind of adapts to the shoe and the shoe adapts to your foot, it's going to feel awesome. They build them to last. Like, you look at the construction and the stitching and the panels on the inside are just beautiful and immaculate. They don't try to make any shortcuts. They just make the shoe the best thing that they can make it. They don't compromise at all. So it'll take a bunch of resoles and it'll stay out of the landfill and on your feet for a long time. Even though this isn't quite the same sole, D-Tech is referring to the kind of dynamic nature of climbing that the Theory was designed for, a lot of like volume hopping and parkour style climbing. So it gives you this big, really soft pad that's going to contact really, really well with volumes. and get maximum surface area. So hopefully you don't slip doing really tricky like slab climbing or all the really funky parkour style bouldering that we're seeing in competitions today. And more gyms are adopting that kind of setting style as well. So that's what the D-Tech means. So anything that's going to put you on your arms and take weight off your feet, that's when you're going to want more sensitivity. That's when you're going to want more feedback from the surfaces you're on. And this shoe is perfect for that. So no edge, basically, I mean, it's in the name, so there's actually no hard edge anywhere on the sole of the shoe. And what that does is it kind of gives the shoe a pre-broken in feel. So after you wear your climbing shoes for a month or so, you're not really gonna have much of an edge anywhere on your shoe anyway. So it makes it really soft, and it also kind of creates that a lot more surface area around the edge of the shoe, which gives you more contact with the rock. Whereas a square cut edge is better for driving down on top of a feature, but the no edge is going to smear better and plug in more to really unique features and dimples and things of that nature. So it fits more surfaces better. La Sportiva cobblers, certified cobblers, which you can find on our website, they'll all have access to these factory pads here. So this entire pad, they can order straight from La Sportiva, and they'll be able to slap a brand new one on as soon as it's worn out. And what you'll want to pay attention to is this front toe area. This is the highest wear area on the entire shoe. And eventually you'll see a little tiny hole, and you'll see the rand rubber behind it. And that's when you need to get a resole.